Hi everyone, long time no see. I kind of disappeared there for a little bit off of YouTube. Just didn't really have any inspiration for videos and was kind of struggling with my journals, which we will look at today actually. But I am back, super excited, have a bunch of videos planned. So thank you for still sticking around, and we will jump right into my flip throughs of both my cousin and my weeks for the months of February and March. Alrighty, just had to move some things around real quick, and now let's jump right in. So we will do my cousin first. The months are pretty boring, it's mostly just dates, so I'll just show those real quick just so you can see how I'm decorating them and using them, but it's really just for appointments, timeline things. And then same for my weeks. They're not very exciting. It's mostly just like daily to-dos for work, any daily appointments. This is mostly just for me to stay on track with my life. So this is going into March. And this week I missed because it was a crazy week. And this is when I got a little bit of a funk, as you can see. I decorated for that week, wasn't able to fill it out, didn't decorate for this week. And then I slowly get back into the groove of things. And let's go to the most recent of March, just so I can show you how I started mostly using it. We'll do this one. So, yeah, I think this is a good example of how I've been using it recently, which I am actually enjoying, and I think I'll stick with it for a while. So my dailies are basically just work stuff, chores for the day, things that need to get done. So laundry, bedding, take product photos, my friend was coming into town, things like that. I started using color code dots for when I'm having really bad anxiety days, just for my doctors. I'm trying out some new medication, so needing to track how many times I'm taking it a week, how many times I'm needing it, whether we need to go up in it, things like that. So I've been tracking that, and when I take the emergency meds, I've been writing it down. I think I do want to get a circle dot specifically for my emergency meds, but that is not a priority right now. So I've just been writing it down, and the dots are just for my really bad anxiety days. Over here I use just for like important things to know that week. So my friend was coming into town, and that's how long she was staying. That was the days that my boyfriend had off, things I need to do, stuff like that. And then I've been using the bottom half for tarot. So just fun tarot things. I've been doing a lot of like oracle reads. I've been having a lot of fun with oracle decks lately. And so just kind of asking like, what's the vibes for the week? What should I look forward to this week? Things like that. So that's what this bottom half is used for. And then sometimes I do some extra planning over here. But yeah, that's about it for the weekly section. Let's jump into the dailies, which is the most exciting part. Alrighty, so this is the first day of February. I am using the months page to kind of do like mood boards for the month, just kind of how I'm feeling going into the month or the vibes I want to bring into the month. And for the month of February, I think I changed it in March. We'll see when we get there. I can't remember. But for the month of February, I am only using one ink color and I'm using this specific color because I started accidentally this thing where I matched up the ink color to the color of the month in the book, which I didn't do on purpose, but now I have to keep it a thing. So used this lighter brown fountain ink color. Using still the moon phases to track my daily moods. This was my boyfriend's birthday. And I put them up here in the corner. And in case you're wondering what the key is, I keep the key up here in the front. Here I was super sick, so used a bunch of homie and lots of oranges because I was drinking orange juice and taking vitamin C vitamins like crazy. I love this sticker because I have a Blue Merle Aussie and it looks just like her. So it was a couple of days of just sitting on the couch, crazy sick. And just been having a lot of fun with decorating in February. I really like how my decorations turned out in February. And also with the different directions and like ways that I've been writing, having a good time. I've changed it up recently, so it's interesting to look back at this actually. And on this page, I had ordered I basically did a big order from Apple Tree Valley Co., which is a shop that I absolutely adore. And so this is all of their stickers, and she wrote me a note, a very sweet note. This is using some of the stickers that I made actually. These are all out of stock currently. We're hoping to restock them soon. But if you are interested in some stickers, I will have it linked in the description. Here's Valentine's Day. This is a Patreon sticker for Strawberry Moth Co., I believe is what the brand is called. I'm a part of their Patreon and I get a moth every month. And it's been super fun to put them in the book and just see every month. I'm really enjoying it actually. This is a thank you note from another shop order from Emmy B. And here is when I got my wisdom teeth out, which was hell on earth. It was a rough time for me. This is the day that I got it out or got them out. I had to get all 4 out. A bunch were bony impacted. Some were touching nerves. It was a rough time. I'm not going to go into all the details, but I am still healing and it is April 22nd. So rough times, but I made it through. One funny thing I will tell you, and it's really funny to read back, I was reading this the other day, is I woke up during the procedure and I can distinctly remember that I felt the need to blink at the doctors, like rapidly blink, almost like in Morse code. And I just remember being like, I have to let them know that I'm awake. I am awake. I couldn't feel anything, but I could feel like pressure. I couldn't feel pain. I could feel pressure and I could hear all the tools. And I just remember being like so scared and being like, I have to blink. I have to let them know. And I just remember my doctor patting me and going, you're doing good. And then I went back under. So yeah, funny story about that. But oh, and I think this was my first order from Dear Whoever, which is Bronte's shop. I love this. That was so fun. This is a picture off of Tumblr, and this is Print Renco, I think. I can't remember their name off the top of my head. And these are MEB. Started using some PET tape, PET tape here, which is like this see-through tape. And I was having so much fun with it. I really enjoyed it actually. Oh, my bad. Like that's PET tape, the cat. I love this deco. I think it's so cute. The little cat hiding, and I love how it's like sitting on top of the lace. I like these pages a lot actually. Just me daily yapping about what I'm doing throughout the day pretty much. And then this is the month of March, so this is the mood board vibes going into that month. I really love the colors in this one and how it turned out. And the beginning of March was a little bit of struggle in this book. I wasn't too happy with the deco, and I was really struggling with my ink. I couldn't find an ink that matched up with the color very well. And I am still very new to fountain pens, so I think I wasn't letting it dry out enough, and so the ink wasn't as dark as it should have been. And it is super light here. And these first couple of months, I just like didn't have a ton going on, and so I wasn't writing a bunch, wasn't really filling up the pages. Like that huge blank there bothers my brain so much. But as you can see, the ink is still light. Still trying to figure that out. I will say this sticker and this one is another one of ours from our shop. I love them. And this is Bronte Plan stickers. And again, another gap at the bottom. It would be cool to maybe go back and try and fill in some of these gaps, but I also think it is, I mean, it's okay to not fill in a page every day. You're going to have more boring days. I'm not always going to have tons of things to think about or talk about. So this was also a very anxious, rough time for me, specifically with my small business. There was just a lot of things up in the air. I was really struggling, going through a rebrand, I believe. I think that was during this time. So it was just like, I just wasn't wanting to spend a ton of time with my thoughts, if that makes sense. And that's okay. We all have our ups and downs. Also, I love this sticker. This is the Sticky Club sticker for the month of February, I believe. And it says, "This is how I'm feeling today." This was a Patreon sticker as well from Print Twin Co. I really hope that's their name. I cannot remember it right now. And the ink is finally getting darker. And this is when I start getting into the groove again. So before here, you can see it's kind of smaller decos. When I say deco, I mean like the stickers and washi and all that. It's kind of just putting down things, not really feeling too creative with it. And I think here is when I was getting excited again to start decorating. And this is when I start using another ink color. So I am using different ink colors more recently to differentiate when I am writing day of and then day after, because I do a lot of at the moment writing, and then sometimes I don't fill up the page, so I have to go back the next day and kind of just fill in either like what we did that night or just random thoughts, things like that. So I didn't start doing that here. I was kind of just mixing the colors, playing around with it, but more recently that's how I've been using the different inks, just to kind of differentiate when I am writing on that page, if that makes sense. And I'm really liking that, actually. So when I got my nails done, nails day, more Bronte Plan stickers, and this is one of me and my friend's stickers from our shop. And yes, so here I was trying to figure out how to use the different inks. So here I was just kind of like interchanging it, where I would write a paragraph, and the next time I came and sat down, I would write another paragraph in a different color, and hadn't really found like a reason for the different color yet, but I do eventually. I love these pages. I think they're so cute. This little moth Patreon sticker is just adorable. It's the freaking cutest. But I think for a while I was doing vertical decorations, and I think my brain just forgot I could go horizontal for some reason. Yeah, just a ton of vertical. And when I did that, I was like, I don't know, it clicked in my brain. I've done the horizontal before in this book. I guess I just didn't do it for a while. And I just really liked how it separated the page. I love how these look out, how these turned out. The colors are just so cute. And I love this one as well. So this is getting close to my birthday, so I was kind of trying to throw in some more birthday-esque stickers, like with the cake. And this washi is from Washi Station. And I just also love the colors on these pages. And this is when my friend came into town, so we have a little, what do you call those? Photo strip, I think. She got me some washi for my birthday, which is this adorable, so freaking cute bunny chess washi. And then quite literally the most perfect washi tape for me ever in the entire world. When I opened it, I squealed the loudest I've ever squealed, like screaming, screeching. Universal Monsters washi tape. It's just the most perfect thing ever. The art style is amazing. It's in black and white, so it can go with everything. I love it. It's perfect. And this was an order from Enchanted Chainsaw, which is a store that I absolutely adore. And this was the last day before my birthday, because my birthday is April 1st. And we went on a trip to the mountains and stayed at a cabin of one of my online friends. And it was amazing. I've been wanting to go for years, and we were finally able to go, and it was just perfect. Much needed. Because we were on a trip and it was my birthday, I wasn't able to decorate this month's page, and I was thinking I would go back and do it, but it's almost the end of April, and I think that's just something that like I really need to do before the next month. Like, it feels like a very good transitionary thing for me, and so kind of like going back now that April's almost done, it just feels purposeless, if that makes sense. So I just put an April sticker there, and it's okay that it's blank. It's not that big of a deal. So that is all for the cousin. So now we will hop into the weeks. So my weeks I am using for a hobby media journal. So it's just where I'm tracking any hobbies that I'm doing the other day, reading, watching, listening to, things like that. So we will start with the month section. This is where I write down any releases that are happening that month that I'm excited for. So like movies, books, Hungerstone, by Kat Dunn release, things like that. And then in the bottom right, I am writing my song of the month, book of the month, movie of the month. And I write this at the end of the month. So I come back in and write it. So for February, my song of the month was Dream Woman by Suki. My book of the month was Victorian Psycho by Virginia Fito. I believe that's how you say their name. And my movie of the month was Companion. And I'm using Cat Cara stickers for my monthly sections. Here is for March. So some of the releases was the Shy Girl book, Lady Gaga's new album, which is amazing. I'm obsessed with it. If you have listened to it, let me know your favorite song off the album. I will talk about it. I dedicated a page to it, so we'll talk about it once I get there. And then Blood on Her Tongue release, things like that. So my song of the month for March was Sally, When the Wine Runs Out by Role Model. The book of the month was Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. Such a good book. I adored it. Adored it so much. And my movie of the month was The Cabin in the Woods, which is not new at all, but it's one of my boyfriend's favorites, and I hadn't seen it in forever, and I actually don't think I've ever seen it all the way through, so it was a fun watch for the first time of sorts. Okay, and now to the weekly section. Every week the page is a little bit different. Kind of just was what I was feeling that week. So I got a bunch of orders in this week. This was from a Patreon order. This was Apple Print Co. I believe is their name. My brain's dying a little bit. And so yeah, over here I just kind of write down what I did that day hobby wise, and I'm highlighting just so I can like easily see as I'm flipping through. So we played The Sims, I was crocheting, I was reading Mary, we watched The Haunting, watched Into the Spider-Verse, things like that. This is the week that we watched Companion, and we watched Strange Darling in the same day, and I'd been wanting to watch Strange Darling for a hot minute, so that was a good movie day. I was reading a bunch of books, for a while I was using these stickers to kind of show when I finished a book. So I finished Mary, I finished Wives Under the Seas, and finished Convenience Store Woman. We were playing Sims, and we rewatched Walter Mitty, which is one of my favorite movies. So there was a bit of time, there was a little bit of time where I wasn't really active in this journal. It was about probably like 3 weeks where I just wasn't really doing anything. I would hop in every now and then and kind of write on the day of, but I wasn't decorating. I didn't really know how I wanted to decorate, and that's okay. It's my hobby media journal. I'm not going to be like crazy into hobbies every day, all day. So I kind of just allowed myself to have this blank page. And I came back in later and rewrote what I did that day based on my cousin, which has actually been very helpful with this when I'm not able to keep up with it. So kind of just writing, you know, what I was reading, my year of rest, working on my zine, reading Victorian Psycho, things like that. And this is one of the instances where, yes. So Mayhem came out the next week, but I didn't really have anything to decorate for this week, and I did have something to decorate for this week. So I kind of just pushed the decoration back. Because it's my journal. And who cares? Because Mayhem had to have an entire page. So I've kind of done that a lot throughout this book, and it's helped me not feel so stressed when I don't have something to decorate, because I'm like, maybe next week something will happen and I can come back to this empty page and fill it up, if that makes sense. So finished Victorian Psycho, we watched Batman and Robin, played The Forest, and then I guess I didn't do anything on Sunday. And now let's talk about Mayhem, because just so good. So at the time, I did my top 5 in no particular order. At the time, it was Vanish Into You, Garden of Eden, Disease, Love Drug, How Bad Do You Want Me? And then I put Taylor's version because it's so Taylor coded. But anyways, this was right when it came out. I do still love all of these songs. I think Disease is just one of my favorites. I absolutely adore Disease. And I really like Garden of Eden. And I think Zombie Boy. Because I didn't put Zombie Boy in my top 5, and I do really, really like that song. Honestly, the entire album is just bops. Top tier songs. So we are officially in March, and this week me and my boyfriend we did some museum hopping. So I just included some pictures from that, and we were playing a silly little fishing game, and he hooked a gigantic whale, and it was hilarious because I was like facing the other way and he just started screaming, and I was like, turn around, and I turned around and all I saw was just gigantic fish on the screen. So I had to include that. It was very goofy. Yeah, here just reading. Lady Gaga came out. We had a whole Universal Monsters day and some other little horror movies. So just a good week. Here is where I went to Horror Book Club for the first time. Absolutely adored it. Playing a bunch of split fiction. Started reading Someone You Can Build a Nest In. And this is when we started playing Raft, and I became obsessed with it. So pretty much every day after this is playing Raft. This is a Patreon order I got in. And I cut up the envelope that the stickers came in because I thought it was so cute. It says proceed with caution, fun and possibly haunted items in here. So here it says Barnes Noble, playing Raft. Guess what? We're still playing Raft. Finished Hungerstone here, gave it 5 stars. It was a new favorite. Finished Something in the Walls, gave it 4 stars. Started The Unworthy. I did not like The Unworthy, unfortunately. And that's a me problem. That's just me. I don't really like religious topics, and that book is primarily that, so it doesn't surprise me that I wasn't a huge fan of it. Oh, and I finished Someone You Can Build a Nest In, and I gave it 2 stars. I was really excited for that book, and I guess I just didn't realize like how fantasy it was going to be. I wanted it to be more monster horror, and it was more fantasy romance. It's a cozy fantasy romance. with a little bit of monster in it. I wouldn't say horror at all. So if you're into cozy fantasies, you will probably really enjoy that. I am not really into cozy fantasies. This was the week leading up to my birthday, so this is when my friend was in town, and this is when she was slowly giving me all of my birthday presents every day. It was like an advent calendar of washi. It was great. And so I was swatching them every time I opened one. So this was the 3 washi that she got me, and I included the little stickers that came with them. That was super cute. I started rereading The Hunger Games. I still haven't finished it because some of the books came out, so I had to put it on hold, but I will get back to it eventually. We started Severance. I haven't finished that either. It gave me so much anxiety. And then this was when we went to the mountains. This still has some March in it. So this was the week of my birthday. And so I didn't really have a bunch to decorate. It was just kind of a crazy week, lots of reading. And so I got this sticker I did a blind book date from my local bookstore that I love, Fred and June's. And it was a banned book. And it came with this sticker. And I thought it was so cute. So I just popped that in here. And that'll give you a little look-see into how I've kind of been using this journal now. Similar with this and this page. It's kind of become like a junk journal of sorts, and I really started enjoying it more, I think. I'm kind of just like putting in things as I get them. If I like something in the packaging, I'll put it in here. So that's been really fun. I think it's made it a little bit easier on my brain that I don't have to do a full collage like this. Or like this every week, because that was really stressing me out. And of course I can still do this whenever I want, but it's not like mandatory every week. And so, don't look at that. So it's been really fun being able to kind of turn this into a junk journal of sorts. And then the last thing in here is I will update you on the books that I've read so far this year, which I am loving doing this. It's so much fun. And I'm so excited to see at the end of the year, like how many pages get filled up. This isn't currently up to date. It's pretty close up to date, but I think I've read 2 or 3 since Shy Girl. But this is all that I've read so far this year. It's been a pretty good reading year. It's been a different reading year for me. I was reading a lot of romance and fantasy last year, and this year is predominantly horror, if not pretty much only horror. So I've been really enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun with reading again. So that is it. So thank you so much for watching. I know this is a little bit of a longer video just because we had to flip through 2 of the months and 2 of the books, but I'm hoping to get back frequently with my YouTubing, and we'll be able to do this on a monthly basis because it is really fun to just like flip through and see how I'm changing how I'm using these journals on a monthly basis, because it's like, it feels like it's constantly evolving, if that makes sense. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye!